The Jackson YMCA, Shawna Tello. Good morning, Shawna.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry I lost it with the lobster at Vermeulen's comment.
Well, I don't know.
I just had
They
this
do have lobster some days
mental
over
picture.
Well, sometimes the guy with the seafood truck.
I've been telling Nate to get a lobster tank, like at Red Lobster. You walk into the furniture store, but you pick out a lobster. Does that make sense?
How did this turn into a comedy show, and how do I rein it back in now and talk about other things?
I don't know that you can.
Okay, good. Let's just go with it then. Lobster at Vermeulen's.
Well, the other thing is the capital campaign and the new Y.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
You issued an update, campaign, new building update last week. What is it?
What? Lobster at Vermeulen's.
That would be nice.
One of our core commitments throughout this process has been transparency. And so I had announced to a close group of supporters a few months ago that we had begun work to plan our groundbreaking ceremony, and that I had publicly announced that our intent was to begin construction late in the spring. And when we put the project out to bid in February, we got the results back, end of March. And we learned a lot about what's happening right now in terms of supply chain issues, labor shortages, and inflation. And unfortunately, with 23 sub-packages that were put out to subcontractors, many of them did not have as many bids as we would have liked to have had.
We've been hearing that around the state, even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And many of them came in higher. The bids that we did receive came in higher than what had been estimated by our construction manager. So right now we are in the process of taking a deep dive into our design and our construction documents and looking at ways to refine the sub-packages, potentially simplify them a bit, and make them more appealing to a broader audience of subcontractors to get those bidding numbers up where we'd like to see them, and looking at creative ways to reduce costs.
Yeah, you're not building a ranch house, and a lot of the stuff that will go into the new Y. You can't shortchange some of the product. So
we
it
can't.
is what it is.
That's exactly what it is. We can't shortchange on products. We can't shortchange on member experience, program participant experience, and more than anything, our commitment to our investors. We started publicly fundraising early in 2017.
Right.
The community has been incredibly generous and supportive. In fact, we've raised more for a YMCA capital project than any other YMCA in the state of Michigan.
Wow.
And what that says to me is that our donors believe in the mission of the Y. They understand the impact that the Y has on the community, and they're willing to invest in it. And because of that, our commitment will continue to be to bring the very best YMCA to downtown Jackson we possibly can. And that means continued refinement of the plan. And so that's where we are. We never knew when we started this work back in 2017 that we would be facing a pandemic, like I said, historic supply chain issues, inflation, and now labor shortages.
Yeah, the labor shortage is so interesting. And I've talked to some folks that have not even received bids back on some jobs. We didn't get any. There's a job in Lansing similar where they got no electrical bids back. No one would bid it. So it's people are busy with their current projects, and then the next project, the price goes up. It's tough right now.
Well, those people, it's an incredible amount of work to respond to a bid.
Yeah,
it's
it
unbelievable.
is a lot of work.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
And then add to that the fact that this is a redevelopment of a facility that was erected in 1962.
Yep.
So there are complexities associated with, if you've done a home renovation, you know that there's days where you think, should I have just built a new home rather than trying to renovate my existing home? And so some of that plays into it. Also, the fact that we want to remain operational throughout as much of the construction period as we possibly can. So that creates some challenges too for the different disciplines to be able to do the work while members and kids are in the building and they're excited and curious. And so that could play into some of the challenges with bidding as well, just the complexity of the project.
Sure.
But the good news is that we've re-engaged GROW. GROW is a firm that specializes in designing YMCAs. We've worked with them throughout the process, but most recently had turned the project over to the construction manager and to the engineers. But we've re-engaged GROW, and like I said, they are incredible experts, and they're working very closely with the Granger team, our construction manager, and the Bergman team, our architectural and engineering firm. And we're using the term de-scoping, but really just taking, like I said, all of those sub-packages and going over them with a fine-tooth comb and finding ways to not only simplify them, but it's been a lot of fun because we're also finding things that we can do to enhance the quality of the project for our members. So anytime you stop and review, you have the opportunity to be creative again. And so that's been a lot of fun to identify things, places where we can put more observation space in so that when you're on the third floor, accessing the track, which will be a new component of the facility, you'll also be able to see into the second floor and from the second floor down to the first floor. So finding new ways to open up the facility and add opportunities for observation. And one really neat thing we discovered yesterday is that we're going to likely be able to retain the small gym. And in the last design phase, we had determined that we would need to absorb some of the area of the small gym to expand the wellness center. Well, we're getting even more creative now, and so it's challenging, it's hard work, but it's also exciting, and like I said, it's presented us with yet another opportunity to ensure that we're being really good stewards of our funds and being really creative in how we make this happen.
So the groundbreaking is pushed back from late spring to
probably end of summer.
Okay.
Yeah, our plan is still to begin construction before fall.
Great.
So hopefully end of summer, you'll see things activating out there, and you'll be getting your invites to our big groundbreaking ceremony, and we will really celebrate seeing that construction begin. If you've been around our facility, you know that really we already broke ground. We took down the properties on the corner of Mechanic and Wesley Street.
Right.
Those were eyesores and safety concerns, and part of the overall project is not just to have a new Y for Jackson, but to beautify our neighborhood. And so we started that. It looks much better over there. But the construction will begin. The new part of the building will start coming out of the ground at the end of the summer. We'd like to get that framework in before the cold weather hits.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming in and sharing the big update with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Good to see you.
You too.
Shawna Tello, CEO of the Jackson YMCA. We wrap up the show right after this quick break.